about this model manifesto and how it ties into all this big four, because it seems every single manifesto has somehow revolved around that. And frankly, this is also another issue here. We've talked about affordable housing. According to the Vision 2030, it's 60%. Let's talk about food security, for example. In the World Bank report of 2018, Kenya has 10.19% arable land. But there are still counties right now that are facing drought and starvation. In this manifesto, what's in here that is not in the other manifestos when it comes to food security issues? Is it the how, or is it the what? Is it the when? Why is this the model manifesto that you haven't seen in the others, especially on the food security angle?
The model manifesto is not a manifesto to compete with what political parties are doing. It is a guideline for how, because where we're coming from is that as a country, we've already diagnosed what our challenge is, and this is available information that is there. As a country, we also have determined what our ambition and what our vision is, and that is articulated in our constitution, that is articulated in Vision 2030, and that is also articulated in terms of the international development blueprints, the Sustainable Development Goals, for instance, the East Africa Community Agenda 2030 and the Africa Union Agenda 2063, which we have subscribed to. And therefore, we are only pointing political parties that, look, whichever political party, and all these political parties have the potential to become government. Now, whichever political party comes into government, it is important that you align yourself to this diagnosis and this vision and ambition that we have as a society. And therefore, the political parties should differ in their proposals on how to address themselves to the highlighted challenges and our ambition and vision as a country, as articulated in the various development blueprints and the constitution. In terms of food security, we had a very good beginning, in fact, in 2013, where Jubilee did its best to put the number of acreages under irrigation, but it was a clear corruption that messed the entire irrigation project. We have had reports from the Israel farm that was doing the irrigation project down at the coast, and because of the corruption, you had a scenario where the inputs were higher, than the outputs. So the food crisis, the food security crisis in this country, is an issue of quality inputs. And the cost of inputs, the issue of storage, the issue of transport and access to the market. You have a scenario where Trans Nzoia, where I come from, granaries are collapsing under the weight of, harvests of cereals 1-2 years ago. Farmers are struggling with the storage. But next door, in West Pokot, people are starving.
Yeah.
You have occasionally potatoes, rotting on the farms in Nyandarua here, a few kilometers outside of Nairobi, because farmers, there is no value addition, there is no storage mechanism, there is no proper access to market. The inputs are now a problem. You're buying fertilizer for 7,000, but the quality of that fertilizer is not good. Yeah. We devolved agriculture. Has there been sufficient investment in agricultural extension work so that farmers can be supported to do this? So we have the idea, but the doing it is still a little bit tricky, and that is what is costing us.
Okay.
And it's really embarrassing to have discussions on sophisticated development issues when a country cannot be able to feed itself.
Yeah.
It is embarrassing that we continually importing basic foodstuff from our neighbors. Yeah. I have tried a hand, Trevor, in poultry farming in my small holding outside of this city.
Yeah.
And the cost of animal feed is mind-boggling. You cannot compete with the poultry products coming in from, Tanzania. You go with your eggs to the market, and if you sold it at the cost of,
coming in from
what's
outside.
coming in from outside,
Make a loss.
you will make a loss.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing that my parents are struggling with on the farm in Kitale. That the cost of inputs in 1 acre and the cost of output in terms of the maize harvest is
Doesn't
just
balance.
two different worlds.
Okay.
So how do we address the issue of farm inputs in terms of making them affordable and quality, so that the farmers don't have losses? When there is harvest, is there access to quality storage facilities so that farmers don't have losses? When you have good storage, do you have good access to the market? In terms of the excesses, do we have, the issue of value addition? And I think other challenges that we have historical land challenges. Our land tenure system has not been the best. And that does not aid our capacity to produce sufficient for not just even commercial, but even subsistence.